Talking of things that make me happy, I think this next take actually warms my heart a little bit because we say in this league all the time, it's all about fits. And when Andrew Wiggins came into this league, we saw all the tracks. Shout out to Drake, draft day, and the pressures that come with being selected first overall. It's a different dynamic when you're the first name picked. But BJ, I've looked at his growth this year in this Warrior system, and I'm loving it. The ball movement, the off the ball movement, the selflessness. I finally think we have found the perfect fit for Andrew Wiggins. What do you think about that hot take?
Andrew Wiggins has been a mystery since he came into the league because he was drafted the number one player in the draft. And with that comes high expectations. And thus far, Andrew Wiggins hasn't delivered on what we've come to expect from that. But when you look at his numbers and you peek behind the curtain, you go, here's a guy that's his career averages are right around 19, 20 points a game. He's gone there. He's gotten traded now to the Golden State Warriors, and he's averaging roughly around 17, 18 points a game. And he's fit in very nicely with this team. But what are the true expectations of this current roster as it is currently constructed and with Andrew Wiggins if they get healthy? Now, is Andrew Wiggins the piece, guys, because we got to ask the question, is he the piece that can fit in a championship level team? That is the question that we're all asking. Here with this team, if they were to slide into the 7th or 8th spot, barely make it to the playoffs, hey, everyone would say that's great. But is Andrew Wiggins the piece that we're come to expect with the Golden State Warriors? That is yet to be, that's unknown. I don't know that. I don't know how he's going to fit once Klay comes back in. I don't know how it's going to fit once I'm expecting James Wiseman to take another step. I don't know how all of this is going to fit. But right now, it's kind of a gap year where we don't know what to expect. We're kind of like just hoping that they can slide into the playoffs. You're watching the brilliant play of Steph Curry. So right now, there are a lot of unanswered questions. I'm happy to see him playing well. I like Andrew Wiggins. But right now, guys, I think, to be determined, I think right now is how I want to leave it because I don't know what the true expectations are going to be once all of those guys are healthy, hopefully, and on the court playing.
I'm not taking that as a no, but I'm not taking that as a yes. So we'll just say that's a warm take so far. Yeah. This is no slat on Minnesota at all because clearly the two organizations were in different positions. But you're seeing right now in that Steve Kerr system, it's translating into wins. It's translating into significant points and especially the effort on the defensive end, Mo. So are you buying into this hot take? Is Andrew Wiggins finally found the perfect fit for himself? And is he the right fit for Golden State as well?
JD, it's been snowing up and down the UK the last couple of days. I'm going to need some heat, so I'm going to give you this one as a hot take. I'm telling you right now, this is the lens that I'm looking at it through, though, because we didn't anticipate Klay Thompson missing the season, right? So when they went out and acquired Andrew Wiggins, I looked at it through the lens of, okay, we're bringing in Andrew Wiggins to play the Harrison Barnes role. Before Kevin Durant went over to Golden State in 2015, 2016, Harrison Barnes was that guy there, kind of the 3-and-D guy that they had going on. And obviously, Andrew Wiggins, his reputation is a bit tainted. He's not reputation as one of the best three-point shooters in the world. But, I love what he's brought to this team so far. And if we break it down and say, okay, cool, Steph's back to playing MVP level Steph. If you look at the numbers, he's playing it the same way he did in his MVP season. Draymond Green over the last 2 weeks has been playing absolutely insane basketball. The assist numbers are right there. James Wiseman, when he comes back from injury, he's looking real promising as, a big presence in the paint and also a versatile big man on offense. And then if you bring Klay Thompson back into the lineup, doing what Klay Thompson does, provided he can bounce back healthily, I can easily see Andrew Wiggins fitting in that Harrison Barnes role. When you look at that 2016 season, Harrison Barnes averaged 12 points a game on 46% from the field and 38% from downtown. This season, Andrew Wiggins is averaging 17 points a game, but on the same shooting percentages. So, obviously things will change when Klay Thompson comes back and a dynamic will shift. But if he can maintain that level of efficiency, he can play that exact Harrison Barnes role that the Warriors have proven, they can win a championship with a player of that caliber. So the main part of this, though, is on the defensive side of the ball. Wiggins right now, he's 11th in total blocks in the league, but he's highest out of every player who's not considered a traditional big man. I think back a couple of weeks to the game against the Clippers, in particular when he was matched up with Kawhi Leonard, he held Kawhi Leonard to 2 for 12 from the field. And that's Kawhi Leonard we're talking about. And he forced 5 turnovers on the claw. And we all know Kawhi is one of the most efficient players at his position in the league. So I love what Andrew Wiggins has been bringing for this team. If they can get Klay Thompson back healthy next year and James Wiseman can become the player that BJ believes he could become, then I think that the Warriors have a real shot of going back at it.
Ovie, I'm liking the strength of this argument right now. Look, I'm seeing the help that he's given sort of to the Warriors on the defensive side of the ball. We all know what he's going to do in terms of putting up numbers, in terms of points per game. But as Mo just said, it's the perimeter defense that has improved so much with Andrew Wiggins in this system. So are you going to agree this is the perfect fit for A-Wig?
I don't know if I can agree with it. At the end of the day, no, just hear me out. At the end of the day, we're predicating all of this out of how he's playing now, okay? And we all know when Klay Thompson comes back, there's obviously like a pecking order. Do you feel me? And I don't know if we're going to see that same type of consistency out of him when, okay, he might not be the go-to guy. He might not even be in the starting lineup, in my opinion. I think depending on what Oubre does and depending on if he can knock down and spread the floor consistently, I mean, I think he's an option they could go with. And, you know, depending on how Andrew Wiggins handles all of that change, I still think, you know, there's a lot of questions to be asked. And then on top of that, when he comes back, there's expectation. Now, this year, at the moment, I don't think Golden State are necessarily dealing with that expectation factor, which adds a whole nother element of pressure to how you're playing and how you perform. You know what I'm saying? And with, you know, Klay Thompson coming back, and if Wiggins continues to have a good season, the expectation is going to be there. And now, okay, it's all well and good kind of going under the radar and performing, you know, besides Steph Curry, where people are going to catch games, but the Warriors aren't the news around town anymore. You know, it's a completely different story when you have to perform and the lights are shining bright on your squad every single night. So I don't know. Like I'm not sold, not yet. Not saying he's not playing very well. Not saying he hasn't been consistent this season. I'm just not sold.
You know, we talked about being the number 1 pick and all the pressures that come with it. But I feel like we've got to a point now where you have to accept a player for who they are. You know, Nikola Jokic came into the league as a second-round pick, but we don't talk about him through the lens of being a second-round pick. We talk about him as a superstar player. Same way with Andrew Wiggins. He might have come into the league as a number 1 pick, but it's got to the point now where we have to accept him for who he is and talk about him as what he can be, and that is a very solid role player or a starting level player in this league. And so now he's come into this team where Stephen Curry is going to carry the offense. Klay Thompson can come in and contribute. Draymond Green can make plays for everyone. So he's not expected to be the guy that I think Minnesota were expecting him to be or hoping that he would be. Add to that, you know, as we talked about in previous episodes, the situations to which a player is drafted can often make or break their career or how they're perceived by the media and the fans. And I do feel like Minnesota is a tough place to get drafted into. We've seen it, you know, historically with the struggles that they've had, even trying to make the playoffs throughout the history of that franchise. So, you know, I feel like this is a nice situation for Wiggins to be in because no one's expecting him to come out here and drop 20 plus points a night. No one's expecting him to be the first or the second option. They're expecting him to come out here, play hard defense, grab a few rebounds, and knock down wide open shots. And I feel like that's something that he's more than capable of doing.
The question was asked, how is he going to fit in? And if we're all looking at it with a healthy Klay Thompson, now as I was listening, I was like, I don't know if he can fit in. And here's why. It's because Harrison Barnes has mastered the art of being a role player and playing the game without having plays or being featured in the offense. Because when you play with Steph Curry, when you play with Klay Thompson, James Wiseman is going to have to be featured in that offense. Suddenly now you got to have your role players playing their role. And I haven't seen Andrew Wiggins to date play as a role player in this league. I'm not expecting him to do any of the dirty work. It's not saying that he can't do it. I'm not expecting him. I don't think he has a game where he can just go out there and play without plays or without touches like a Harrison Barnes can. So I think when you look at it and you really break it down, is he capable of being the fourth guy on a team and doing all of the dirty work, a la a Draymond Green? That's what makes Draymond Green a fit for that team. That's what made Andre Iguodala. Those players didn't have to be featured. They just played, they contributed in the flow of the game because the offensive players were the ones who were getting all the touches. I don't know if Andrew Wiggins is that type of player. He is an offensive player that is capable of putting up numbers, but can he do it as the fourth option or fifth option? I'm not sure, because Harrison Barnes now knows how to, play his role. So the formula has always been in this league and always will be. Great players have to be great, and role players have to play their role great. That's okay that he may not be to the standard of being the number one pick. That's fine. But can he contribute without being featured in the offense or featured on the team as the 1, 2, or third option? I'm not sure if he has accepted that yet about his game.
I think the only thing that we can say with complete and utter confidence is Draymond Green is definitely in Andrew Wiggins' ear every night, 100% leading that team.